All right, ladies and gentlemen, there was one TikToker or YouTuber who was saying that, oh no, I'm going to wear this wig in the next video, but I love the wig. That wig is super nice. This wig is gorgeous too, right, guys? But anyway, she was saying that she does not worry about the response she gets from people. So people can be very annoying on the one hand and very complimentary and nice on the other hand, right? So you get those people that are like really sweet to you and that are so nice and will say only nice things to you. And then you get those people that say, annoying things. You're like, are they pressing something? Do they have an agenda? Do they just want to make you feel uncomfortable? Are they jealous? You have people like that, right? So then she said that she doesn't take offense to any form of communication. So if there is that person that's a nagger or negative or rude or whatever, she doesn't react to it the way she used to. She says that she'll just respond to it as if that's just how the interaction was, and maybe that's not the right person, whatever. So she's like she's like making sure that we all know that you can get blue in the face by responding to negative comments or dealing with negativity, or you can get just like, okay, so that person said the rudest thing I've ever heard in my life, so I'm just going to let it go, all right, and I'm just going to wait till I meet someone that likes me. In general, I think the most important thing we can all do is remember that we are all struggling in this world and we are all having a hard time, and it's not easy for anyone. And so if someone doesn't give you the time of day, I mean, or doesn't give you the time of day, but is really rude or whatever, then instead of being like, oh, they're rude, it's annoying, whatever, just understand maybe they're not coming from a good place in their lives, or they had a bad day, or someone did the same thing to them, right? And there are some people that have friends that just constantly criticize them, right? So instead of taking it personally and internalizing it, why not just really, be like, that's them, that's how they interacted with me. Some days I go through my day and I think to myself, sometimes you just think to yourself, you're going to get the rudest people ever in your day because you're a TikTok or YouTuber, so people will just say whatever, and they're jealous or whatever, so they'll say stuff, even though maybe you're not in a good place. I'm not famous, I'm not making any money, I'm like really, really poor, right? It looks like I'm wealth because I'm beautiful, but I'm really, really poor, right? So people might be like, oh, we'll just put toxicity on that person, we'll say whatever, we don't care, they're doing well, they're famous, this and that, which is fine. You can think that about someone. You can even be rude to them if you want. But you have to remember that internalizing that or letting that be the focus in your life is not necessary because that's just how the person is, right? I mean, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to let that affect me. You have to be positive, right? Life is way more fun when you're positive, right, guys? And another TikToker YouTuber was saying, when somebody is very negative with you or has a hard time with you, to feel compassion towards them. And now you're thinking, how can you feel compassion towards someone that says, unalive yourself or whatever? The reason why I say that is because they might be really feeling like they have nothing, or they blame you, or they think you've got everything made of and you're living the dream, and if they assume all this stuff about you, like every celebrity gets this, I'm sure. They assume all this stuff about you, they think all this stuff about you, they get very angry, they get very upset, and they say whatever, right? And you have to show compassion. Now, you don't have to show it to them because maybe they won't appreciate it, or they don't respond well to you, or they're just so jealous, or they're going to be really upset with you if you even respond. So you don't respond to them, but you realize that it's coming from a very bad place in their lives. Some people are at their lowest point, and that's not to say they'll always be there, but some people are at a very low point in their lives, so they end up taking it out on you. And when you think of it in a compassionate way, where you're like, I know this person's been through a lot, I know they've had a hard time, I know I'm dealing with a lot more privilege than they are. then you can understand and be more sensitive to them being that way rather than feel like it's a target towards you or that it's super annoying, right? I know people have been really annoying to me and saying negative things and whatever, but I do realize that there are people that say these things and their situation is dire. Their situation is really, really bad. So for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge, or I don't like this person, or why are they like this? I could do that, or I could be like, they're not dealing with life very well. They're not coping well. They don't have much going on. They're really struggling. All that, right? So in general, you have to let it go and be like, if I was in their position, maybe I'd do the same thing, If I didn't get any subscribers on my channel repeatedly, and here's someone that's good looking, super talented, that just comes on the scene in less time than they are, doing very, very well, getting subscribers quicker, doing quite well, getting subscribers at a quick pace. I was told I'm getting subscribers quicker than almost everybody at my level. So that means that people at my level might even be jealous, right? So if you're someone that's like, oh, I don't know what to do, I've got all these haters. Well, remember that they're not dealing with life well, or they have very many issues that maybe you can't even deal with and you would not want to deal with. So to blame them or to feel like it's their fault or they're suffering and it's taking it on you, to clap back at the haters when you're doing exceptionally well is not cool, right? Anyway, that's a different perspective. I want you guys to thrive. I want you guys to do well. I want you guys to be whatever way you want to be. Don't be a doormat. Do not give in to people saying you should be a certain way if you don't want to. Do not worry about, don't go out of your way to be friendly to someone that's going to use you or use you as a doormat or whatever. But don't be rude and don't be condescending, and remember where your privilege is and remember what you have, right? Now, I don't have privilege, guys. I have privilege in some sense, in quite a few senses, but I'm really, really poor, guys. Like, rent is really tough for me to pay. I'm barely able to make bills, okay? So when you see me, you're thinking privilege galore, beauty galore, tons of stuff galore. Sure, yeah, but I'm really struggling. So guys, remember that if you're struggling too, you know what it's like, right? Anyway, totally enjoy. Bye now. Bye everyone. Bye now.